Back on the back porch. We're here for another week. Wow. Gonna go ahead and give us the score updates. This is my first time doing it. It feels a little weird. It's 124-123 Jordan after a 6-6 wash on the week. A respectable effort from Gunnar, but Dr. Varner is still the head of our guests. Jordan, I think there's nothing else for us to do except for to dive into this week of our first fixture sees us in West London, where the Bees play host to Chelsea. And I think the first action that we have to do here is touch on Chelsea and a very disappointing EFL Cup final for them. The billion-dollar bottle jobs. I mean, they're playing against a Liverpool side. Shout out to my mate Sam. It looked as if Liverpool was playing a side that you would see play in the first couple rounds of an EFL Cup draw. It's their youngsters. I think at one point the average age of their lineup was like 21 or 22 or something. And to see Van Dijk, watch him defend and they watched him score. He backpacked the team. Obviously Brentford, I don't know. I think that they've been really quite unimpressive of late. And I think the pressure is going to be on for them to stay up. But I do have Chelsea actually going on to win this game. I have Chelsea going on to win this game. And I have them doing it in a 2-0 fashion.
In this West London derby, I have Chelsea taking down Brentford. I think Chelsea is starting to find a bit of form. They'll get the job done. 2-1.
Paqueta is back. And we're going to get to see him facing off of a revitalized Everton who get their match point deduction reduced to 6 points, which changes the context of our relegation battle. It throws a real wrench into the bottom half of the table here. And I think the first point I made here is going to play a huge factor in this game. Obviously, Everton is at home, but I think having Paqueta, that's what West Ham has been missing, right? They're a team that hits really quick on the break. They find fluid moments to transition, and who is the player that's usually that outlet? That initial release valve is Paqueta, because he's a player that can turn on a dime and play dangerous balls in behind. Bowen is going to rip another hat trick. No. I need to chill out. I think this is going to be a hard-fought win for West Ham, 2-1. Jordan, what you got?
Everton's points deduction gets reduced from 10 points to 6 points. That puts them 4 points above the relegation zone. And to be honest, I think they'll end up staying up. West Ham, on the other hand, Paqueta comes back. They get back in the win column. They have 11 wins with Paqueta, 0 without him. Brock said it a couple weeks ago, Paqueta is a game changer. In this one, however, I think Everton are going to get a draw. I'm going to go 1-1.
We're headed to Craven Cottage, and I think it's going to be rocking because Fulham is coming off the back of a historic win. They go to Old Trafford, and for a large portion of the game, I would arguably say we're the better side. They just find ways to transition well. I think Vinicius is he's a crafty player as far as the way he occupies space, the movement he makes off the ball. It's been fun to see him kind of cement this striker void for Fulham. And then Brighton, on the other hand, I think that, wow, truly I've been unimpressed with their cutting edge in the final third. And I think that's what's really hurt them. They're a side that's always going to create moments, right? When we talk about a football match, a manager control everything up until the final third, and then it's left to player creativity and just a willingness to put the ball in the back of the net. And we haven't seen that. It's a really hard game for me, but I'm going to go ahead and predict the scoreline at 2-2 draw. Jordan, I mean, you're buzzing. How's Fulham looking?
My Cottagers, coming off of that historic win at Old Trafford, Alex Iwobi with an absolute brilliant 97th game winner. It was deserved. Fulham taking on Brighton here, who rescued a point last week after going down to 10 men. I think Fulham might keep it rolling. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham, up the Cottagers, bring it on.
Yeah, Newcastle need a trip home, and they get it. They play Wolves off the back of a bit of a spanking from the Arsenal. They show up at the Emirates, and Newcastle's been a side that, for a large portion of the season, been able to do damage to these bigger sides, at least put the pressure on them, because I think they're a really quality side. Not having Sandro Tonali plays a big factor, and I think you're starting to see the stagnation of the club, but to watch them get dominated for, I'd say, 80 minutes. I think they had 10 minutes where they strung stuff together. 80 minutes they were suffocated, and I just think Newcastle will continue to try and find ways. Wolves, obviously, they're a side that's dangerous. Neto transitions well. He's a dangerous player in counterattack. But I see Newcastle getting back on track after what was a pumping. And I think they're going to do it in stylish fashion. 2-0.
Wolves come into this game above Newcastle in the Premier League table. Absolutely crazy. I don't know if I see them taking a win on the road, though. I'm going to go Newcastle at home 3-1.
They are hosting our Carabao Cup champions. For me, it's an easy scoreline prediction, but I want to touch a little bit on the resilience of Liverpool. A side that right now is competing for 4 trophies, albeit Europa League. The only trophy that they've shored up is the Carabao Cup, but I think we've seen a resilience from Liverpool that reminds you of why they have, for a side that has such a reduced budget, won it all. And really, I think that's something impressive, something to be proud of any Liverpool fans, is the fact that your club has done this with significantly less spending than the likes of City, United, Chelsea in recent years. And so I think it's a great trophy for them to win. If it's the last one Jurgen Klopp wins, then I think it's an amazing achievement, and they're going to win this game 3-1. Simple as that. Jordan, take us away.
Liverpool win a trophy. Klopp's kids is the new saying, if you will. They're coming up against Forest. They'll get the job done. I'm going with the classic 3-1 Liverpool.
Spurs play host to Palace in a London derby. There's not a real whole context that I want to add to this. Palace flying out the gates. It's the new manager bounce, and I would say new manager bounce is not applicable away from home. And so I think that Tottenham is going to win this game. I think they'll do it pretty comfortably. 2-0 Tottenham.
Tottenham coming off a bye last week at home against Crystal Palace, who Oliver Glasner gets his first game at Palace, first win at Palace. This is going to be a different story. I think Tottenham are going to be ready to go. I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham.
We're headed to Kenilworth Road, where Luton will host Aston Villa. And while watching them score 2 bangers against City in an FA Cup draw, where they just seem to have all of the gaping holes, it was a performance not like anything we really see. We haven't seen Luton look outmatched this season. For the stature of that club has been impressive, but I think, and call me crazy, this is a great opportunity for them to kind of re-establish why everybody loves watching a game at Kenilworth Road. I think you're going to see it be really messy for Villa, and I think you're going to see Luton Town actually win this game 2-1.
The team that Everton's points reduction being reduced to 6 hurts the most, Luton Town. They now find themselves 4 points from being out of the relegation zone, when before they were level on points. So they really, really need to start winning games. They're up against Villa. It won't happen. Villa's been in really, really good form. I'm going to go 3-0 Villa.
Burnley playing host to Bournemouth. It's another quick one for me. I'll continue to say it. I've just been underwhelmed with Burnley, and I know Vincent Kompany rumors coming out that he has the full faith of the board here, but I just don't back them as a side to win games. Playing at home in the Premier League matters, but I don't think it does in this instant. Bournemouth, Solanke, I think they just find ways to score goals, and this seems like a game that they'll go on the road and they'll take. I think it's a game that they take. They take it 2-1, Bournemouth with the victory. Jordan, what you got for us?
Burnley, Bournemouth, both of these teams haven't won in ages, but I think Bournemouth are the better team. 2-1 to the Cherries.
It's Manchester United visiting Manchester City. It's blue versus red. It's good versus bad. And it's after January, so Manchester City is clicking again. We see him coming off the back of an unbelievable performance. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, they're just a match made in heaven. The creativity that Kevin De Bruyne... You don't watch football for Erling Haaland. You watch it for the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Martin Odegaard, these players that just see the game on a different level. And this United side almost struggle with the complete opposite. They can't create. They don't create chances. They find ways to get results. And I think you're going to see them have a go. They're going to have a go. And it'll be 1-1 going into halftime. And then City will put their foot on the gas. And this game will finish 3.
It's the game of the week. It has to be Manchester Derby. Both of these teams finding really, really good form. Yes, United coming off that loss last week against Fulham, but before that they had won 4 straight. This is no contest though. Haaland scored 5 goals in the FA Cup this week. Manchester City will dominate. I'm going to go 4-2 in an absolute thriller.
Last one of the week, Sheffield playing host to the Arsenal. Because Jordan's out, I have the liberty to spend a little bit more time talking about the start to the new year that we've had. Bukayo Saka, the most goals from a Premier League player since the start of the season. A ridiculous number. I think it's 14 across the span of 4 games. And really just starting to see Arsenal be a little bit more potent. They've upped the intensity. Jorginho, what a player that he has been in this side, where he rotates in these bigger games and really puts his foot down. Tiempo, controls the game. And I think the biggest evolution in Mikel Arteta's tactical identity has been the way that he compresses space in the Arsenal press. I think you watch that game and you see even more chances created that weren't finished from just squeezing the field. There's a screenshot. Anybody that's subscribed to The Athletic, you can see the way that Arsenal condensed this field. All their players are within 1/3 of the field, and they're just saying, okay, try and break us down. Try and play out of this. And they're just pressing in different ways. It's been unbelievable. I'm going to take Arsenal 3-0 in this game.
Last game of the match week, we have Sheffield against Arsenal. I just think Sheffield are not good. Arsenal have been brilliant into the new year in the Premier League. They'll get the job done. I'm going to go 4-0.
This wraps up another week for us. It's a remote one, but it's still a lot of fun. We want to see you sounding off in the comments. We're going to throw up the graphic here. Not much to add. Go ahead and tell us how much donuts we are. And that's going to take us away for this week. Cheers.